Welcome to another episode of Coffee with Capril. Hey, have you seen the price of lumber lately? In fact, have you seen what your value of your home may have increased to lately? It's amazing. You would not think here we are at the tail end of a pandemic and we'd see real estate prices soar as much as they have. But hey, that's a good thing if you're not looking to buy a home. If you have a home, well, it's a great thing, right? But if you're looking to buy one, well, now things are going to be a little bit more expensive. All right. Well, listen, I want to point out just a couple things to you. First of all, while homes tend to grow in value in a somewhat linear fashion, that's not always the case. I mean, it wasn't that long ago when we saw a big housing bubble burst. And I, for one, I guess I was underwater essentially. I went to refinance and actually had to come up with more money to do it. So now, I look and I don't have too much of a mortgage left anyway, but things have soared. All right. So should you care about that? Well, first of all, that's an illiquid asset. So until you're ready to sell it and maybe do something with the money other than buy another place, I wouldn't get too caught up with that. All right. If you do decide to sell it, though, and you do decide to buy something cheaper, well, there probably won't be a capital gains tax involved with it, but you want to check first. All right. And I can talk you through all that as far as that goes and what the rules are, depending on how much of a gain that you have. But my real concern really is insurance. Every homeowner policy is a little bit different. And with the rising in market value, there's also going to be an increase in replacement costs of your home. Now, these are two different things. So your home, like in my case, my home in Nashville, the market value is considerably higher than the replacement cost. I could basically hire a contractor myself to build the home for less than what I could sell it in its current form. All right. And that's simply because of the supply and demand of location. Therefore, my insurance coverage is less than what I paid for it. Now, because of the rising costs of goods and services like lumber, the replacement cost of my home has gone up. Now, there are some policies out there, the good ones. They say, look, we think your house is worth X, but if it burns to the ground and it's 2X or 3X, we'll pay it. There are others that will say, no, we're only going to pay X. So let's just say hypothetically your home's insured for $500 and it burns to the ground. It costs $700 to rebuild it. Well, we're only going to pay you $500. You want to check that out. There are some that will say, and like mine's like this, and I'm probably going to make a change because of it. Mine says current value plus 25%. So current insured amount plus 25%. All right. So that is probably now a problem for me because with the rising costs of goods and services, that ain't going to work. So I either need to get the home reappraised by the insurance company, or I need to switch to a policy where it doesn't matter what it costs. They're going to estimate the value, but if they're wrong, I'm protected. So keep this in mind. Homeowner insurance is not something we think about too often because the likelihood of having a major loss in a home is low compared to a car. We always think of our car insurance, but we don't really think about it as much with our car. But with the rising cost of building supplies, you need to be concerned about this. So if you haven't talked to your insurance agent in a while, you want to have a clear understanding about how the replacement cost works on your house. Another thing, as we've seen the increase in value in gold and other precious metals, those of you with jewelry collections, you're probably underinsured on that too. So you may wish to get your jewelry appraised, and you may want to consider increasing the insurance that you have on your jewelry if you have it. Now, a lot of people don't think to itemize their jewelry because they figure, well, my homeowner's policy will cover it up to a certain amount. The problem is that certain amount may not be very high. It may not cover your whole collection. So having your insurance separately insured, it's called a valuable articles policy or personal articles floater, um, insures the value. And there's also no deductible. And it covers you against mysterious loss. So I always think of myself as the insurance agent's best friend because we don't sell that type of insurance, but I'm constantly educating people on how to do it right. Because that actually was my world for 10 years when I worked at a company level. I worked in that line of work. So I just lost my light there, but I'm going to continue. So check that out. And, hopefully prices will stabilize a little bit, but this is the facts of life. And inflation isn't necessarily a bad thing. Hyperinflation is. But we can take advantage of some of it, and that our net worth has increased as a result of home value. So if you have any questions on that, schedule time. Be happy to talk to you. Also, feel free to share this with any of your friends because I think this is a message a lot of people need to hear. Talk to you. Bye-bye.